Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to do this because this has been one of my goals for the longest of times, but I'm super excited I'm doing it now. My name is Chineye Adeleye, and I'm a project manager and interior designer and also the founder of Volunteers of Africa. I'm a professional volunteer. I love to volunteer. Today, I'm going to be speaking about the PMP. On March 27, 2025, I sat my exams, that's the PMP exams, and I passed. And I passed with above targets in the three domains. Three domains are people, process, and business environment. Let's even talk about what is PMP. PMP is Project Management Professional. It's a certification that is always given to project managers. If you're a project manager, you understand what I'm talking about. And this is organized by a body called the Project Management Institute. Yeah, they also do other certifications. But if you're a project manager, you understand the importance of the PMP. According to research, they've always said that when you have the PMP, you get better opportunities, promotion at work, better job prospects. To be honest, for me, I'm one that's very passionate about personal development, professional development. I just felt like this is the next step in my career as a project manager. And so aside from all of the prospects, all of the opportunities for me, it was just doing it for me and my own mind, knowing that I'm not where I was. I've taken it a step further. So that was it for me. And I just want to talk about my journey and I was able to get through to this. In 2023, while I was in a company, I came across the PMP and I'm like, I'm a project manager. I should apply for this. So in the company I was working there, they paid for the training with a company and it was a great training. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll write the exam by December or maybe next year, January. But as will I say time will have it, I didn't have time for it. I kept on postponing and postponing and postponing. And then by the end of 2024, I told myself, Chine, you're going to write this exam first quarter of 2025. It was in my goals, like it was number one. In fact, it was the main goal because as a person, I don't like setting more than two goals in a quarter because I realized that when I do that, I become overwhelmed and I become so worried when I'm not achieving them. So I've told myself, calm down. You can just do two per quarter. So I set PMP as like number one, clear. Everywhere I wrote in my book, my prayer requests, I also wrote it. But aside from writing it down, I started preparing. I went back to my books from the training I did in 2023, but it wasn't really making sense to me. So I just dropped it and I started preparing. I went on YouTube. I know some friends have referred me to some YouTube content creators that talk about PMP, PMI, and the exams, right? So I checked them out. I'll mention their names and I hope to put them on so that you can easily click on them on the screen. The first one is Andrew Ramdayal. He's so amazing. His training is training on Udemy. Udemy course. I think I got it for 10K, or 8K. I can't remember how much, but I know I bought it when it was on a promo early in January. So I started taking the course and watched the videos. The course, and it's a audiovisual course. So I sat down and listened and learned. Now, let me tell you, for the PMP, you need 3 years of experience. That's 6 months of experience for you to write the PMP. And I think I love it because the exam is quite technical. And if you have not been in this space for a while, you might find it difficult. Even personally, I've been here for about 6 to 7 years. I still found it very technical and tasking and stretching. So if you're just joining the project management world, I'll just advise you to calm down. You can take the CAPM. It's more like an introductory exam to the project management world. Yeah, so I took the course by Andrew Ramdayal. Okay, so after that, I was still stalling. Trying to pick a date because I already paid. I was stalling to pick a date. And for the PMP, you have within 1 year. So if you pay in January, you must write your exam by December. If you pay in March, you must write your exam by next year, February ending or March ending. Do you understand? So you must write it within a year so far you've paid. So by January ending, I just told myself, Chinere, you have to pick a date. When you pick a date, you get more serious. So I picked a date, March 27th, and I prayed. I was like, God, please have mercy on me. This exam is expensive. I paid about $500 for this exam. So, but if you are a PMI member, you pay much lesser, right? So I was like, God, I don't want to fail this exam. So I started reading. So like 3-4 days later, I got a mail from PMI asking me to join a WhatsApp group. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's join. So it's a WhatsApp group. Let's just join. So I clicked on the link and joined the WhatsApp group. Lo and behold, I met other prospective PMPs, sharing questions, talking about different materials, tricks and tips to pass the exams. I'm like, God, thank you. Because I pray to God that I need every help I can get to pass this exam, because I've told God I'm not writing this exam more than once. Aside from telling God, I also put in the work. So faith works. They work together, right? So that's how I joined the group, and everybody started talking about Andrew Ramdayal. I was like, oh well, I know about him, but people started talking about his ultra hard, the 200 ultra hard questions on YouTube. You can also check that out. 200, once you just type 200 ultra hard PMP question, I'm sure it will pop up. So if you're able to take those questions, and what I do is, for example, if you ask number one, this and this and this, A this, A that, B that, C that, and D that, I pick an answer. I pause, I pick an answer, and I write it in a book and play. They listen to the answer. So if I fail or pass it, I'll either score or cross it. And then I'll ask myself, why did I fail this? Because for every question and answer he gives an explanation on to why this answer is wrong or this answer is right. You understand? So that, if you're planning to take the PMP, that will help you with your mindset. You realize that you don't know as much as you know. I can tell you that for free. In my mind, I was like, oh, I'm ready for exam. By the time I took those YouTube questions, I realized that I think I got like 50 or I think 100 or 200 or so. Was not so good. But then I learned. So if you're preparing for your PMP, you need to understand that the fact that you're failing in all of this preps exams, it means that you need to study harder. It doesn't mean that, oh, I'm not ready, I'm not doing this exam, I'm not going to pass. No, it's for you to understand the fact that you need to prepare more. Listen to why those answers are correct. Because for the PMP questions, you need to know why. Once you understand why the answer is right, it's easy for you to pick answers, because the answers are very similar. You can see A, apple, B, pull A, something like that. And you'll be wondering what's happening here. So it's very important that you know the reason behind every question and every answer. Know how to read question and pick out the problem, right? So that's about the Andrew Ramdayal's question. So I also took David's questions. David, I'm not sure how to pronounce his surname. I think it's McLachlan, right? And it's also helped me. There's this 200 PM questions, and for him, for every answer he gives, he refers to the page in the PM book. PM book is the Project Management Book of Knowledge, right? If you register for the PMP, you should have it, because once you register for the PMP, you get it in your email. I think by the time you register for the membership, you'll get it. So what I did was, for every answer I gave, I went back to the PM book to check. For example, if they say it's page 37, I'll go back and read up on it. Because you cannot just take the PM book to read. It's a lot. It's long. It's boring, to be honest. It can be really boring. So for David, he always refers to the pages. So you can easily go to those pages, read, then come back to watch the YouTube questions and answer, right? I also did this Mohammed Rahman's mindset. It was 23. He will talk about how to answer the questions, when to answer with, when the question is asked, what should a project manager do next? What should a project manager do first? Talking about the team, it's going to help you dissect all of this to make you understand. I think for me, one thing that did it for me was when he talked about the minimum viable product, because a lot of questions, a lot of answers rather would look like the answer, but by the time you see the minimum viable product, most times is the answer, not all the time, but most times it's the answer. I think those two. So number one, if you're just starting out, you're not really soaked into the project management world, and you want to take a PMP, It's possible. So far, you can show that you have 3 years of experience working on projects. But you need to start from the very beginning, from Andrew's course on Udemy. Buy that course. It's not too expensive. Buy it. Then take his 200 ultra hard questions. Take David's McClacken, yeah? His 200 agile questions, 150 PMP questions. I think he also has one on predictive. Predictive is waterfall. If you're a project manager, you understand what I'm saying, right? What else? Andrew's drag and drop questions. You may not understand this, you see. So drag and drop. You remember in primary school, we used to do this matching, cross matching, like you match A to apple, something like that. So it's just very close to the drag and drop. So you're dragging questions that you're dragging answers that will match the question being asked. So for example, now they can say, oh, who is in charge of the project team in an agile environment? Is the scrum master. So he's one that facilitates and ensures that all of the issues that the team are facing, he helps them solve it. So you can just move the scrum master to match that. I think that's the simplest explanation I can give about that. You need to practice a lot of past questions. A lot of past questions. See, reading is not enough. You need to understand how PMP sets their questions. And there are a lot of resources for you to check out past questions. There's one on LinkedIn Learning. If you're on LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn Learning and put PMP questions. There are 4 type questions, 180. So in your PMP question, there are going to be 180 questions. You're going to take it for 3 hours, 50 minutes. You take 10 minutes break if you want. It's not a must. Then after that, you go back to your exam. I always advise people to take a lot of past questions. If I'm not exaggerating, I did up to 5,000 past questions. I was practicing, you know. A lot of people talk also about the study hall. I didn't use the study hall, but if you can, please buy the study hall, right? A lot of people say that they are very similar, right? So, what else? I think that is like basically it. You need to understand the PMP mindset, and you need to take in the PMP mindset. One thing I always advise people is take off everything you know as a project manager, drop it somewhere. Now, come into reading for the PMP with a fresh mind. You understand? Because I've been doing project management for 6 years, and I'm trying to explain to you that when I started taking this course and doing the past questions, I failed woefully. I'm not joking. And that made me understand that this is a different ball game, right? And the truth is, if we're able to imbibe the PMP's mindset in project management will be beautiful. Because I learned a lot. Aside from passing the exam, my mind has been expanded. When I continue to get to work as a project manager, I feel like I'm doing better than I used to be. Because now my mind is open. I understand a lot of things. I understand how to work with people. I understand processes. I understand risk management, stakeholder management, working with my team, understanding agile. It's so beautiful. And trust me, when they say knowledge is power, it is true. So this is just going to be part 1. Part 2, I'm going to talk about how the exam was and other things that helped me to pass. Then part 3 would now be my admonition to you all and my final advice to you all. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, like this video, because aside from the PMP is just the first, because a lot of people have been asking me a lot of questions, and I'm like, I need to do this video so that as soon as anybody asks me, I can refer them to this video. I'm going to be talking about family here. I'm going to be talking about project management, like we're talking about now. We're also going to be talking about volunteering, talking about a lot, friendship, family. I can't wait. I have a lot of beautiful content to share with you all. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, share to your friends looking to write the PMP. I believe that this will be very, very useful to them. And I want to tell you, you can pass the PMP in one sitting. I did pass it. And I didn't just pass. I passed exceptionally. Wow. So can you. All you need to do is get prepared. Get rid of fear. And as much as I'm saying get rid of fear, if you're fearful and you're afraid, I can relate. I understand. I was there. You understand? So if I'm telling you not to be afraid, I'm telling you because I was not asking myself, what was the point of all of the fear that I had? Because it felt like at the end of the day, I was able to do it so well, and I come out with these flying colors. right? So get rid of fear and get your heart ready, because you will pass, and you pass exceptionally well. Thank you all for watching. See you in the part 2 of this video. Bye.